true church, overcome all these liberal churches that are out there teaching people the wrong stuff, and bring forth the Acts 12 church that prays all the time and contacts you all the time like you want. Lord Jesus. Amen.
Oh, I'm good. Hi, I'm Rebecca Hooper. I had a quick story to add on that. I'm an Army veteran. I went through a year of training and I came out as a disabled vet. After I came out of Ranger training, when I was processing out, I had a battle buddy, a roommate of mine. And all through the training, everything that I did, even through basic training, they're always like, Hooper, why are you always smiling? I'm like, God is always good. God is always good. And I would just sit here and scream that God was always good and I would always be the light. But I had this battle buddy of mine. She was an atheist. She wore black. She had tattoos on how much she hated God and all of this other stuff. And I'm like, okay. And I just continued to smile and be happy. And one day she looked at me, she goes, the Army's putting you out. Why are you smiling? I said, well, you don't know where I came from, and God told me where I'm going. And she goes, I want to know God. And she accepted Christ into her life that night.
Amen.
And one of the other battle buddies that I had as well. When I got out of the Army, I traveled to 48 states across the country, just spreading the word across the country. Working out in every state, preaching, going into just different congregations that I went to. When I got back home, I received a phone call that her and my other battle buddy that accepted Christ into their life that night got out of the car one day to help the elderly couple out of the car, and they got smashed at 80 miles per hour. Both died instantly. She was from Portland, and I met her on the other side. I went to her funeral, and when I went into the funeral and I spoke at the funeral and I said that she accepted Christ into her life that day, that the whole room just stopped. There was over 300 people in the room. It was filmed live, so all of our battle buddies across and overseas, all over the place could see that what had happened. And when she accepted that, everybody just started crying because she didn't know God and they didn't know where she was going. She was going to heaven, and God used me for a purpose that every person that I touched in the Army had accepted Christ. Because not of me, because of Christ in me. So I just wanted to add on to that. It's who you are. It's the light of what is in you to see and go out there and reach the nations, because God calls us to go out there and reach the nations. God calls us to be his light. God calls us to give the message and give his word. That's all I wanted to add.
Amen.
All right. So we have kind of what she's saying, and I'll talk about this in a little bit. We're all built differently, okay? That's the thing we have to understand. We're not meant to all do the same thing. Okay, each of us, we all have an identity. We're all different. We have our unique fingerprints. All of us have our unique qualities, our faults, and all that stuff. And the way that you're meant to live life, I'll talk about this in a second. The way that God built you, he's got a path for you. The thing is, you have to analyze what it is you're afraid of. You understand what you're afraid of, because the enemy will do everything he can to put fear in your heart to do what you're destined to do. So when you know what you're afraid of and you analyze it, it'll help you understand the destiny that God has for you. A good example I can give you for myself is that I do believe that I was built to be out in the open, for people to see me, for people to criticize me or whatever it may be. But 2-3 years ago, my biggest problem, my biggest fear was people, was being around people, was I wanted my privacy. I had a fear of people knowing who I am, knowing just whatever. I was afraid to go out in public, for crying out loud. I had a lot of fears. And when I started to analyze it and I started to look into it, all the fears that I had, they were there to stop me from doing what I do. They were there to stop me from going out in the public and showing who I am and showing what I believe in. Because not only did I become a public figure, I became a public figure that was attacked every single day, made fun of every single day, ridiculed, slandered constantly every single day. It was the hardest thing I had to go through in this journey, because I was literally facing my fear, my greatest fear, every single day. Right? Every single day, people make fun of me, make fun of me, make fun of me, make fun of me, and every single day I have to question myself and question and start to feel self-conscious. You know, when you see people make videos and you see them making fun of you, at first it has a strong impact on you, because that's what my fear was. Okay? And so my the thing that I'm going to challenge you guys to do at some point, really think about what is it that you're afraid of? What is it? What is it? And why are you afraid of that? And what does that mean for your future? Because I guarantee you that fear is getting in the way of you truly living your destiny that God built for you. So, I'm going to read this one, then we can move on. Jesus calls on Levi. He went out again beside the sea, and all the crowd was coming to him, and he was teaching to them. And as he passed by, he saw Levi sitting at the tax booth, and he said to him, "Follow me." And he rose and followed him. He reclined at the table in his house. Many tax collectors and sinners were reclining with Jesus and his disciples, for there were many who followed him. And the scribes and Pharisees, when they saw that he was eating with sinners and tax collectors, he said to the disciples, "Why does he eat with tax collectors and sinners?" And when Jesus heard it, he said to him, "Those who are well have no need for a physician, but those who are sick. I came not to call on the righteous, but the sinners." This is really important for a couple of reasons, because the thing about the tax collectors is like they were like the bottom of the bottom. I don't think people understand. They were so hated. They were Jewish and they were traitors. They worked for the Roman government, and they would take the money for the Roman government and they would take whatever they wanted on top of that. Okay? They were the outcasts of the society. Everybody hated the tax collectors. So think about that kind of life where not only are you living a life with no satisfaction because you're just stealing from people, you're not providing anything for the society. Nobody wants to be around you. Nobody wants to talk to you. And that's the thing, is Jesus comes by and says, "Come up and follow me." Okay? And I believe he opened up his arms to someone who doesn't feel that much love, and it had an impact on him, and he didn't hesitate. He got up and he followed him, and he went and ate with him. And the story about Levi, people need to understand, is he was so good at, that was his identity before that. He was so good at taking and taking and taking and taking. And he was good with money. That's what he was doing. That was his identity. But when that's what his false identity was. But when he realized, after he spent time with Jesus and he brought Jesus into his heart, because Jesus actually took the time to sit down with him, he realized that his identity, his true identity, was to give to others. That was what his whole life was meant to be, was to go around and to share and to bring money into people's lives instead of taking money from them. Because the enemy had him living a false identity the whole time. And this is the thing, this is why I believe divide and conquer is a huge strategy from the enemy up above. They want to keep us separate. You look at the scribes, they say, "Hey, no, you don't talk to that tax collector." I'm not trying to be rough on liberals right now, but liberals are notorious for that. They say, "Don't talk to that person because, oh, he's racist, or he's too far right, or this or that," instead of coming together and actually impacting one another and influencing one another. One of the most amazing things about Jesus that I believe is that he was willing to sit down and talk to anybody. But that's how you connect with people, and I think it's so true. We don't need healthy people to go to the doctor. We need sick people to go to the doctor. And that's what he came to do. He came to help the bottom of the bottom, right? That's the king that he was, not the king high up in his palace, right? With servants and all that. No, he was down at the bottom serving. He came to clean the feet of people, to wash their feet, not them wash his feet. And so I think that's really important, especially if you're part of Patriot Prayer or you're part of those people on the streets. I get so much flack for talking to anybody. Someone can be spitting in my face and I still want to talk. And a lot of people don't understand that. They don't get that. It's because those are the people that I want to connect with. We cannot lose faith. Anybody at any time can truly be changed by your words, and especially by your love. Think about how many people have so much hate in their heart. They have people around them that's constant hate, and then somebody comes along the way and offers out a hand and offers out love. And how much of an impact that it can have on them. So that's something I really want you guys to think about in the future. Does anybody have anything to say before we move on? Oh, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I got something that I wanted to say. I
Sure.
just wanted to say, kind of your story about your that girl that recorded you going into the crowd at Berkeley.
Yeah.
Like, just wanted to say, like, I used to be like a hardcore atheist, and like back in 2010 when there was like that wave of heavy hitters, Christopher Hitchens, Sam Harris, Richard Dawkins, and like I read The God Delusion. I read God Is Not Great. I read The End of Faith, The Future of Reason. And my life was spiraling out of control that time. And that's part of the reason why I was so obsessed. I was obsessed with the idea of God, but it just manifested itself in like this, in that way. And I started taking it more seriously now, and I'm just going to church and stuff and just listening to people, and just that thing that you explained, like that religious experience that woman had. I just wanted to say, like, I had that experience during the Hymn 2 rally, when we were at the Smart Park area, and like everybody was backed into a corner and they were like shouting at you that you're a token, and yada yada, and you were just said like up to them, like, I'm a human being, and like just they were spitting and like pepper spraying, and like you like defended yourself but with restraint, like you weren't being a pushover or anything, and just the outcome of that was poetic, and everything that led up to that, and I had that moment, and I just wanted to share that.
Cool, amen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who else?
So, the reason this great country has been blessed so much is because the founding fathers had a vision, and that vision was to put the foundation of Jesus Christ and His teachings in this country, in this great country. Now, we have the freedom to go out and preach Jesus. That's the big point, and a great thing we need to take hold of and take advantage of, to go out in the streets and talk to Jesus, to talk about Jesus, because He's the one that's going to manifest Himself in here and keep working in us. Like, you're willing to accept Jesus now, and that's absolutely very inspiring. I believe that should be to everyone, because that's what it takes, willingly to have faith and believe in Him, and you shall be saved. And good for you, brother. I congratulate you for that. A lot of the things too that we do get spitted on. They blaspheme God and curse us. But when we do have truly Christ in us, we have peace in us, and that's why it does not bother us, because that's when you truly have peace in your heart when you accept Christ.
That's right. Who else?
We'll take the pulpit there, right? All right, Jesus Lord, amen? Amen. All right. So, does everybody know what the gospel is?
Amen.
The gospel? Believe unto the Lord, you shall be saved. He was resurrected from the dead. For our sins on the cross, amen? Chapter 16, verse 15 and 16. And He said unto them, Go ye into the world and preach the gospel to every creature. He that believeth and is baptized shall be saved, but he that believeth not shall be damned. Okay? Jesus is saying we must go and preach the gospel to every creature. Alright, and then I lost my spot. Matthew 5, 14 and 16. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on the hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under the bushel, but on a candlestick, and it is given light unto all that are in the house. We are lights. We are salt and light of this world. We cannot hide the light. Jesus commanded us to go and preach. Be the light to everybody else. Jesus gave us the keys to the kingdom of God. We are able to make copies of that key and pass them out to everybody else. What was Jesus' biggest commandment? Love the God with all your heart and love your neighbor. That's what Jesus says, love your neighbor. You don't want nobody going to hell, right? We shouldn't if we love our neighbor. So go and give everybody a keys to heaven and preach the gospel. That's what we're supposed to do. And Paul says in Romans, For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first and also to the Greek. Paul is not ashamed of it. He's not ashamed to hide his light. He's not ashamed to go out and get ridiculed, spit on, beat up on for preaching the gospel. Everybody in the Bible preached. The prophets, they preached. The disciples, they preached. Christians are commanded to preach. We're not supposed to hide the light. A lot of us, I'm guilty of it too. I used to go into a church and just sit in there, take the good message I heard from the pastor, and I would just walk out, go to the grocery store. I wouldn't say anything to anybody else the rest of the day or the rest the weak about Christ. We're